Let's start then.
Yes. Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Chat with TISSians. It's an initiative by Aspirants Relations Committee, HRM and LR, TISS Mumbai. And this year we have a theme called Challenge Your Limits. So today we're going to take a session about how our lives at TISS are. At the same time, we'll be taking you through basic nitty-gritties about TISSNET and in general that what do you expect when you come to TISS Mumbai. First of all, a very brief introduction about ourselves. I am Paritosh Negi. I am from Aspirants Relations Committee, HRM and LR. I did my civil engineering BTech education first, and then I went on to prepare for UPSC for 2 to 3 years. I have gap years, but still managed to get into TISS. Right now, I'm part of Aspirants Relation Committee, as I mentioned. And today I have my friend Darshana with me.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Darshana Chatterjee, and just like my friend Paritosh, even I did my civil engineering. After that, I went on to do my work experiences in the banking sector. I worked for 3 years in State Bank of India as a probationary officer. After that, I joined TISS Mumbai in their flagship HRM and LR course. And today we shall take you through life at TISS and about the exam and even give our insights about the same.
So we have right now, I think 27 people watching us live. Shall we wait for like 1 minute and then start?
Let's give them a minute.
Yeah. So by that time, I hope that you have subscribed to our official Instagram channel, because we always post a lot of details about TISSNET, or maybe what are the happenings in the college right now. So you get all those details over our social media handles. It could be Twitter, it could be Facebook. We have Quiztopia going on right now, which is like quizzes for 100 days. So we are on the day 80th now. So after that, we'll be compiling that PDF, which will be very helpful and useful for all of you. Like we have 6 questions each day, from every section that comes on TISSNET. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a Telegram group as well. So all these places, we share whatever details that we have with respect to, upcoming TISSNET or admission related queries. You can contact us through our official handles, where we can always take your queries with respect to your form filling details, or maybe, any small doubt that you have. So it's 7:05. I think we shall start,
Yes.
Challenge Your Limits, Chat with TISSians 7.0. This is the 7th edition that we have. So I'll start with what is TISS. So it is an institute, a very preeminent institute in India, which started in 1936 as Sir Dorabji Tata Graduate School of Social Work. Later on in 1944, it got the deemed universities. It became as Tata's Institute of Social Sciences, and it got its deemed university status in 1964. Right now, we have 4 campuses in 4 cities, and in total, we offer 69 programs. We have campus in Mumbai, Tuljapur, Hyderabad, and Guwahati. When it comes to our course, which is the flagship course in TISS Mumbai, HRM and LR. So basically, we are a course called MA. Okay, a lot of people have this confusion with respect to whether it's an MBA or an MA or what. So basically, it is equivalent to an MBA because it is a course of School of Management within TISS Mumbai, right? So initially, in 1967, it started as personnel management and industrial relations. Later on, in 2006, it changed to HRM and LR. So what is the interesting fact about this HRM and LR is that it is not just HRM. So we also have the LR aspect to it, which is labor relations, right? So we have intensive courses or subjects with respect to labor relations. Again, HRM is one of the best programs that TISS Mumbai offers in the whole Asia Pacific. So Darshana will take you to this.
So I shall take you through TISS Mumbai's HRMLR's very interesting pedagogy. So the first part is, of course, our foundation courses. As you can see, these foundation courses are not just limited to HRMLR, but they are also about from the School of Social Work, from Habitat Studies, Development Studies, which shall enable you to widen your aspect, your prospects, everything. So these range from not just human resources, but politics, economy, research, psychology, and anything, everything that can be your area of interest. So one of the biggest USPs of this is its field work. Apart from our summer internships, every student has to go through 4 field works in their 2 years of this MA program. What happens is that it helps you before your summer internships. It's like a practice ground for your summer internships, where you not just learn in the classroom in our MA program, but also you learn in your field works as well, where you understand how the corporate or how companies actually work. It's a hands-on learning. There is, of course, dissertation, where you get to choose your area of interest, research on it, and present a paper. And of course, you are guided by our very, very seasoned faculty members. Next is our NGO stint, which is a 1-month-long stint after your 4th semester, where you are exposed to the societal problems. You work hands-on with an NGO at a very ground level to use your areas of expertise and solve real-life problems. Next is, of course, the HRMLR's course, which ranges from our very niche subjects like compensation benefits, organizational behavior, and etc., as you shall know throughout the course of these 2 years. But apart from that, we also learn about marketing, finance, all the niche MBA subjects.
Okay, so some of the field recruiters that we have, as Darshana mentioned, that we have, field work in every semester. That is a part of our course curriculum, which is very unique to our college in India. So we have a lot of companies, a lot of brands. Aditya Birla Group, you can see Pernod Ricard, there is Nestle, HUL, Marico. All these companies, we have a tie-up with because of our good alumni base. So, we have them as our mentors, while we are at fieldwork. So it's a very unique experience that people have. Apart from that, we have great opportunities at TSS Mumbai. We have a lot of case study competitions, because a few of them are very exclusive to a very, few B schools, where only a very few B schools can participate. So we, being from TISS Mumbai, from this particular course, so we get that access to participate in a lot of different case studies. So these are the few case study competition that happened in the previous semester. There was Smart by Amazon, there was Accenture Strategy, there was Tata Steelathon, Mahindra Rice Challenge, where Darshana was the campus winner here, itself. And then we also had, Head Start by ABG, where our batchmates, came out as winners. They were the national winners. We had Interrobank by ITC, where our senior batch, the second year batch right now, they were the national runner-up. So a lot of opportunity that you get here. And this is a very practical way of dealing, the HR problems or the labor relation problems that we have within the country right now, because these are the very live practical case studies that they present us with. Also, I would like to mention that a lot of questions that I'm getting right now, please, have some patience that towards the end, we'll present you with the whole TISSNET preparation strategy. At the same time, we'll cater to all the questions that I'll be getting here. All right. So we also have industry exposure at TISS Mumbai. A lot of faculties, they come to our college, they teach various courses. So we have a guest faculty kind of a thing as well, where people from very specific domain from the industry, they come to our college and take our classes. We have maybe, let's say, one particular course that is being taught by a guest faculty. So all of them do come to college. We have IDP sessions, by Mr. Kanti sir, who actually helps you evolve as a human being and tells you that, what are the aspects of HRM that you can bring throughout your own personality development.
So of course, we just concluded our summer placements last year. And as you can see, these are some of the very known famous brands, not only in India, but throughout the world. These are the companies that have visited us for our summer placements, 2022-2024 batch. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is the diversity in our batch. As you can see, out of 77, we have 33 women participating in the whole process. And as a batch, we are very, very diverse. And our mean stipend for 2 months has been 3 lakhs. These are some of our final recruiters as well. And these are, again, very famous, very known brands in the country and in the world.
So if I talk about the life at TISS, I think it's very vibrant, to be really honest. This last semester, this is our second semester. So in the first semester itself, we started a college with the very beautiful session that we had with our seniors called Mentor Mentee, where, our seniors were appointed as our mentors. So they were guiding us. It was one of the ARC's initiative as well. And then we had Mr. Abhineet Mishra, who was our alumni. He's a well-known stand-up comedian as well. He's our college alumni, and he used to work in Asian Paints before. Now he's shifted to another company. So he came to college, had a fun interactive session with the people. Apart from that, we had one of our, batches from 1974, you can see on the screen.
It was very unique.
It's very unique that, they came to college and they met all of us. They took a 10-15 minute session and, they talked to us. It was a very interesting conversation that, whatever happened in those days, and they used to share with us. Again, this is one of the pictures here is about amphitheater, where there was an ethnic day. The whole batches, the two different years were collectively celebrated that one particular day. Again, if I talk about the alumni base, as I said, Abhineet Mishra was there. We have current CHRO from our college as well, Miss Savita is there. Apart from that no matter where you go in whatever organization, it could be from IT sector, pharma sector, it could be e-commerce, it could be a FMCG, a conglomerate. You will always find, people at CHRO levels or, very high managerial level from TISS Mumbai, which actually helps us a lot, because networking really helps with respect to alums and in fieldwork, as I mentioned before, they prefer students from their college. So it's a very good network, we can say. Now we come to general tips for exam and preparation, as all of you are waiting for, Darshana.
Yes, so we are all apprehensive about TISSNET, and we always keep thinking, what's it going to be? How's it going to be? So I'll just take you through the basic structure of it. It's like a 100 marks exam that you give for 100 minutes, and it has 100 questions in it as well. So the good thing about this is that you do not have any negative marking. It's +1 for every correct answer. There are 3 sections. The first section is, of course, your English proficiency. And the next one is quants and logical reasoning. That's for another 30 marks. So we can collectively call this as 30, 30, 60. And now the remaining 40 or make or break section is the general awareness section.
As she mentioned that, there are 3 sections, and the key points that I think one should know. If they don't know, then let me, bring those points very quickly. There's a sectional cutoff in GK of like 35%, which is like 14 marks for general category. And 12 marks for OBC, and there's no cutoff as such for SC/ST community. And then there is, as you said, there is no negative marking. Then you can attempt all the questions. So now it comes down to how you attempt those questions, in 100 minutes, because make sure that you do not leave any questions. So make sure you attempt all the questions. Again, revision is the key, I think, because since there is GK, there are a lot of questions. So you have to be like very good with your practice, and whatever current affairs that you have prepared for GK section, you have to be really good with them with respect to, the exam date, because, a lot of data is there. For example, there are books and literature and, music awards and functions that you need to really brush up till the very end. And also be very selective about the resources you refer to. Make sure that they cover a lot of things, and you have the kind of retention. It's always preferable to maintain some notes. That comes really handy at the very last moment. And as I said, that follow us on these social media handles. I'll keep it here for some time so that you can see them. Apart from that, if we come to the specific very specific portions that how did we prepare, English or maths and logical reasoning and general awareness. We'll talk about that. First of all, let's go to English proficiency. I think what we should do is that, what I did and what Harshna did, I think we should have a conversation about it so that you can relate to our journeys as well, that where is the point where you are getting some of you must be getting stuck with respect to one thing or the other. So you can take those points, and then we'll have the question answer sessions, right?
So for English, I would like to say that, start off at the very basic, practice your basic English, go to those idioms, verbs, phrases, do your fill in the blanks, do your basic Renan Martins, and cover your basic RCs so that you are well versed with the English section. The level is absolutely medium, I would say. So prepare accordingly. And for quants and LR, I would like to give it to Paritosh. He can answer that.
Yeah. So when it comes to maths and quant or LR, as you say, I think the best source for this particular section is, I think, previous year question papers. There are question papers available from 2016 onwards, I suppose, till 21 or 22. So what you can do is you can, actually make notes of those topics which are often asked. And we have seen in the past years, few topics are often repeated. So make sure that you do not miss those topics. For example, clocks and calendars, if you see a particular pattern, diligently, if you note down that these are the sections that have been, very often they ask these questions, and also a lot of questions do get repeated. Last year, I remember, when I was giving the exam, there was this one question from 2016 paper, right? And it was a reasoning question, some question was there. So, I could not, I could, save that 1 minute or 1 to 2 minutes in that question because I already had gone through, I remember the answer as well. So I could save my time there. Also, like if you notice, there's a pattern called number system, number series, missing values, these kind of questions are often asked. So you have to do this work on yourself that, rather than picking up a book and randomly, doing questions, make those topics that these are the topics that I need to cover since TISSNET is around the corner. So you can actually brush up first those topics which are often asked. Later on, if at all required, you can do the other topics which are left. Okay.
Also, please cover up on your basic formulas, the basic arithmetic. Do not underestimate the power of knowing your basics. I tell you, this is the one thing that will help you sail through the exam. Once you have your basics clear, then only move on to solving the next level questions. And for general awareness, that is absolutely the make or break section. So what you have to do is you have to at least know your current affairs for the last 6 months. That is the minimum I did, along with preparing for history, polity, and all the other subjects that are there.
For general awareness, it was very different for me, of course, because I come from a UPSC background, and it wasn't a very difficult section for me per se. But then again, since there are so many things that are to be done very differently, so that I'll talk about right now. So if you see again the previous year question papers, you'll always find one section is static, another section is dynamic, right? Which is current affairs usually. So you can't predict static, right? So what you can do is you can at least master your current affairs. As she mentioned, 6 months, that is must at least. But if you can go beyond that, well and good. Okay, now what do you cover? Okay, now you make separate topics. Okay, awards and these sports section is asked very often, right? How many Padma Shris were given in a particular year? Or maybe some socially relevant films that were, chosen for Oscars, let's say, or national awards in that particular year, their director, you will understand these kind of questions if you work a little smartly, if you understand and analyze previous year question papers first. What I did was I made notes out of it. Okay, I did not jump through a coaching or a YouTube material directly. Rather, what I did was I made the topics list. Okay, this is the topic. Then I used to Google it extensively, then made notes out of it. Okay, that you have to understand. And to be very honest, that TISS being a socially sensitive and very inclusive kind of an institute, they have a tendency of asking questions which can be a little bit predicted as well. I'll tell you how. For example, you can't remember all the 120 Padma Shris. Of course you can't. Nobody can, right? But what you can do is the highlights of those, award functions. For example, last year there was this question that who got Padma Shri, from the transgender community, right? It was the first time that somebody from a transgender community had gotten that particular award, or in that sense. So you also need to understand that, okay, this is a very unique thing. First time women, for example. Now, if you understand that, we have a new president, right? So you try to go through the static part of it. Read president's power. Who appoints president? What are his powers? Can president be terminated or, impeached? What is the process like? Very basic. The number, like, for example, there was a question, which Lok Sabha is this? Few years ago, I think 17th or 18th, right? In the same way, which number of president is this, right? Like that. So you can expect these kind of questions based on these things, right? And apart from that, for the static portions, I would say that cover at least minimum basic things. You want to talk about static portion?
Yeah, of course, you have to cover your history. That is first. I would start from modern history and then move backwards, because I believe that modern history was a lot to cover for me. And I was working, so my time was very limited. So I had to optimize my time. So this is something, again, you have to take care of. Keep, optimize your time management has to be number one. Even in the exam also, these 100 minutes will pass by very quickly. So you have to make sure that you attempt the GK and be sure about it, be accurate about it as well. And then in geography, you cover your basic geography. Not all subjects can be your forte. Not all of them have to be strong for you, but know your basics very, very well. Like even for science, like basic physics, chemistry, biology, you can always expect 1 or 2 questions from this domain as well.
Yeah, very true. And apart from that, like a lot of queries that we get is about mocks, right? To be very honest, there is no good mock for TISSNET, because there is no specific coaching for TISSNET, because there's such a dynamic exam that can't be designed or can't be readily prepared. We can't be readily prepared for, right? So what you can do is, again, make previous question papers as your base. You can choose any mock of any reputed coaching institute that you would like to. But you need to understand that how and why are you using these mocks. Okay, so time management, as Darshana mentioned very correctly. So you understand that how much time do you get in one section, because it's very different, right? So in the actual exam, you have the liberty to choose whatever section that you want to go for, at the outset or at later part. And you can always switch. So there is no bifurcation as such. You can do one question here, one question there. So my strategy used to be that I used to go for general awareness first. Okay. And I thought that, like in 20 minutes, I'll, finish the 40 questions, because it's like read the question, mark the answer, because there's no negative marking, any which way you have to mark it, right? So that was my strategy. May not work for you, right? You would want to go with English, because a lot of people come from that CAT mindset, right? They have the tendency to approach English proficiency first, exactly. Right?
That is the same for me. So I approached English and quants and LR first. I covered it in a span of 20-25 minutes, and the rest part I kept it for my GK section, because I knew that it would take me some time to come to my answers. So of course your method can be very, very different, but make sure that it suits you. Priority for you is to analyze your mocks. It's not about giving 100 mocks. It's about giving 2 mocks and analyzing it very, very well, so that you identify your strengths and your weaknesses and work on those strengths. At the same time, make sure that you pay enough attention to your weaknesses as well, and try and better them as time goes on. Give more mocks, understand them, and then go for the exam.
Okay, a lot of you are asking about the source of past year papers. You can actually Google them. You'll get them. Or they, like, TISS does not release officially, those question papers in their websites. But you can, like memory-based paper, a lot of YouTube channels. If you just YouTube like TISS 2016-17, a lot of YouTube channels have actually solved those exams, on YouTube. Like you can actually solve them live, with them. So you can actually do that. Plus, a lot of Telegram channels are there where you can get them very easily, right? Apart from that, and there is another question about what's the exact exam date of TISSNET. Till now, the exact date has not been revealed or not been announced as of yet. So whenever it's out, we'll let you know. Okay, please make sure that you follow our social media handles. Also, that you can regularly website, but tentatively, it is supposed to be in the last week of January or the first week of February. Okay, but again, it totally depends on the administration. Last year, it happened on 26th of February. So just be ready. I won't say that, keep let's say last week of January is your final week, so that you don't have anything left to prepare for, right? How to prepare for GK we have answered already. I think answers given for past years are mostly wrong. Can anyone suggest the source of past year papers? Again, answers given there, so you can always use Google, those questions. And as I said that on this YouTube channel, these questions are being solved by the experts. So you can actually refer them. That is what I used to do. I used to solve them on my own, then used to see what was their actual approach. Because, the whole problem with quant is that you can solve those questions very easily. The point is solving them in a minute or more, like not taking more than 2 minutes at least. Because time paucity is the biggest issue here. Okay, so getting to the answer through the most, useful, shortest method. Yeah.
But also it should be something that you are comfortable with. So don't just rote learn those methods, but also understand them as you go through your quants or English.
I had given TISSNET last year, and there were a lot of questions related to government schemes. So Raghu is asking, how do I cover these and analyze what schemes I should focus on? Very relevant question, Raghu. Even being from a UPSC perspective and an aspirant, it is extensive. There were a lot of things. But what I can do is go through the budget document. Okay, if you're given the last year's paper, if you remember, there was this thing called some portal about labors, organized.
That comes from the Ministry of Labor.
Some e-portal or
yes.
Something, eShram, yes.
eShram
was there. Yes, correct. So that is exactly mentioned in the budget. Okay. So budget piece is very, very important. It's a long document, but trust me, if you skim through it, it won't take you more than half an hour or maximum 1 hour. Okay. And you can highlight those schemes here and there. You can Google them, right? And just write 1 or 2 bullet points about them. What are those schemes and who do they cater to, right? That much is sufficient. Also, why eShram? Also understand, because it's a human resources management and labor relations, right? And also we have other courses in the campus with respect to labor studies or labor relations, right? So that is why such questions are asked. We have also courses related to Dalit feminism and Dalit studies. That is why a lot of questions were asked from these particular communities. Okay, so you need to understand that TISSNET is not only for HRM, right? A lot of other courses are there. That is why there was a question on Drishyam. Remember, if you remember, right? What is the official language of this particular question? So you can't, so you can be a little smart, if you understand these questions. Hi, sir, ma'am. I just want to know that I can start my preparation now. It's to start or allow. See, even if you're just starting now, you can definitely.
Yes. So I personally started my preparation in the month of December. It took me around 2 months of proper time management and dedication to the important parts and also my weaknesses. So there is no right time or wrong time to start preparation for an exam. Starting is the main thing. So if you start and you give in all of your efforts, I'm pretty sure you will make it through.
I think Darshana would be able to answer this question better. I'm a working professional but left recently. Can you please tell me the additional documents related to the WorkX will be required during admission?
Okay, so the additional documents, I think if you just left your work and all, I would suggest that you keep in handy your experience documents and your relieving letter. These are the 2 main related to your WorkX. Apart from that, of course, it is the same for everyone. That is your 10, 12, your undergrad documents, and of course, your Aadhaar card and all of your identity documents. That's all. Documents is at a very later stage. For now, just focus on your preparation. If you left your job, identify your strengths and weaknesses and give it your best, give it your all in the preparation.
I am from Geography Honors. Can I apply for TISSNET for HRM? Of course you can, See, again, we should tell them that, TISSNET and our particular HRM course, it's a very diverse batch, right?
Diverse batch.
We have, people who just came out of college, who were just in their last year of college.
People with 3 to 5 years of WorkX, even more than that.
So we have gap year people, we have work-ex people, we have freshers, So and also people from a very different kind of subjects. So it's not like all engineers. We have people who have left their government jobs. As Darshana was in SBI, there were people who left Food Corporation of India. There was one guy who left NABARD. So it's totally aligns with your let's say inner calling, or it's your interest, right? If you have interest, then you should. The college and the course, they do not discriminate on the basis of what your background is, right? It's just that you need to be confident about yourself, that why I want to go for this particular course. But then again, that comes on a very later stage when you go for the interview preparation. Okay, that's a separate topic altogether. Apart from that, since the seats are very limited in HRM and LR, what made you believe that you can convert tests, and what helped you?
Okay, so first of all, having that confidence in yourself, I can do it. That is the first step. So even I left my job back in January 2022, and I did not have any backup option. But I gave it my all. I knew that I had to do this, and I was confident about it. So I think all it takes is for you to prepare. What is in your hands? The preparation, not your selection. You don't know what the criteria will be, what the questions will be. But what you can do is you can prepare. You can give it your all, and just hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah. So there's another question. What's after TISSNET exam? So I think usually, I'm not very sure, but usually after a month, they come out with the results, right? And since they have mentioned OA, so there is not going to be TISSMAT this year. All right. So TISSMAT happened just once, okay? And that was on a very pilot basis they were trying to figure out, right? So last year, as OA happened for us, OA is online assessment, right? We had extempore and OPI, that is online personal interview. Now, what OA will consist of this year, this has not been explicitly mentioned, but last year we had extempore, where you are given like a topic and you have to speak on it for like 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes, and then online personal interview with the same panel, right? Apart from that, are people with work-ex preferred over freshers during PI? As we cleared it before, I am somebody with the gap years, she's somebody with work-ex, and we have had people who are freshers. Totally depends upon your background and how you justify that, right? The PIs are very subjective, to be really honest, and it totally depends upon you, that how do you justify your choice, why HR, why TISS, very basic kind of questions, and what your life has been till date, and why do you want to pursue this particular course.
It's about you and it's about merit. So do not go into that rabbit hole of whether I can do this or not. Just be confident about it and give it your all. That's in your hands.
There's a question on cutoff, etc. Okay. So again, cutoff varies every year. Okay. For last year's TISSNET, so there are two cutoffs, right? One is TISSNET cutoff, which is a particular number, right? And another one is which is not like a 67, 68 or something, which is like your overall cutoff. That is when you convert. Do not get confused between these two cutoffs. Now, TISSNET cutoff was 67 for the general category last year. Last year, it was 68. And before that, in some of the batches, it used to be 73 or 75 as well. So it totally depends upon the level of difficulty, right? Last year's exam appeared to be a little difficult because of the GK section, as perceived by a lot of people. So that's why probably one or two mark went down. And then which consulting firms are coming for the placements? I'm going to go ahead with this.
So for placements, I guess we could say Deloitte is there, Accenture Strategy is there, of course. So these are the top firms in consulting. Apart from that, there is Aon Consulting as well.
Conferry,
yes. So all of these are there during the placements.
So you'll find consulting firms, FMCGs, conglomerates, IT sector firms, and like every sector demands HR, right? So a lot of companies, being from TISS Mumbai, they come to our college and they recruit in a really good amount. Cutoff for the ST category HRM, I'm not very sure, but I think you can check online if you get such details. And also the overall cutoff we were talking about, right? So overall cutoff happens after, last year what used to happen was, so 50% used to be the component which used to dedicate to your TISSNET exam, right? And the rest 50%, 20% used to be the extempore, and 30% used to be the online personal interview, right? So overall cutoff was something 73 point something or 74 point something to convert into HRM again from the general category, I'm saying. So exclusive to other categories, we are not aware of, because the list is not out. I remember like 2 years ago, there was an extensive list provided by the college. Till date, or like till now, for the last year, it has not been out. So we can't really comment on that. Do we need to study UPSC current affair material, as I've seen UPSC aspirants sitting in the exam scoring better? See, if there are UPSC aspirants, of course, they have an upper hand in GK, right? That's bound to happen, right? But then again, it's not that extensive, to be really honest. You don't have to go through those extensive current affairs. If you smartly see that, the kind of questions that are asked. Okay, for example, I am from a UPSC background, but in UPSC, they were never asked factual questions. But for TISSNET exam, I had to read a lot on, the books and authors, right? Who directed which movie.
So it's an MCQ. So you have to identify the areas from where questions are being asked and be smart about it. If something has been different this year, please do read up on it, delve into its depths, and try and cover as many topics as you can. But of course, the depth of knowledge that you need in UPSC exams, that is not required in TISSNET.
Very true. Should we focus more on static or current affairs?
Okay, so I think you should give equal weightage to both, because you can never predict the pattern of the paper. So it's very different for all the years, and give equal weightage to both, and at least cover 6 months of your current affairs, if not more. And for static, you should identify all the areas from where important questions are coming, like probably modern history, somewhere in basic geography, some basic chemistry questions that we remember. And for static, these are the things that you can cover. And for current affairs, of course, you have to identify the main news that are, national level news, state level news, sports category, awards, and all of this. These you can focus on.
Is good English vocabulary must for further processes of the admission in HRM and LR?
I don't think so. Of course, a certain mastery is required, very basic level, but you are judged on who you are, how much you know yourself, how aware you are of your surroundings, and not the way that you speak. And it's not all that. So of course, do not be less confident that, okay, I cannot speak in great jargons or in great English. That should not be the platform for you to judge yourself. So of course, preparation has to go on.
Recommend good sources for GK, haven't started yet. Again, like as we mentioned, that you can categorize those topics and you can use Google extensively. Trust me, understanding the pattern, there is no one particular source where you can find out, all the materials. What you can do is, like, for sports category, right? So you can follow one particular channel on YouTube, let's say, one particular magazine if you're following, right? You can compile those things as your notes, but at the same time, you also Google them a lot, right? About them. For example, last year there was this question, right? So Olympics had happened, right? So we were expected, of course, to be asked questions on Olympics. But I think at the same time, there was another question related to in so and so year, where this particular event is going to be. So, there were certain questions like that. So you can't, rely on a one particular source, to be really honest. I'm a UPSC aspirant, but I have not done yet his polity and science complete in a short time. See, first, try to, so somebody's saying that, she's a UPSC aspirant and have not done yet. I'm not able to understand this polity, APT, science. So how do I complete in short time? See, first of all, just give a random mock, that to last year's mock. Okay, see where you stand. Okay, understand that, give yourself like 100 minutes, as they say, 100 questions, and see that what is your scope. Then try and figure out that where do you have to improve. If, for example, your cons is not good, then spend more time in that. Ma'am, was graduation from distance education accepted? I'm not very sure. You can contact us on our official, social media handle. Trust me, I'll get back to you after confirming this. But we do have people from post graduation, from open learning, from IGNOU and everything. But undergrad, I'm not very sure of. I'll get back to you. You can ping us, on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'll let you know if you want. English isn't fluent. Will it hinder the selection? I don't think so, to be really honest, right? But then again, you should see English as a language of communication. That's it, because because English is, so a lot of people in our batch are from different backgrounds, from the different regions as well, right? So English could be that one language that at least they can communicate in, right? So it's a binding factor like that. Plus, of course, a lot of subjects are being taught in English because it's the corporate language, right? So, but it's not that it's going to hinder you a lot. Of course, there's a scope of chance, where you can actually go ahead and improve it. So it's not going to be a big of a problem. Okay, all the best. There are people saying that I had my doubts. Thank you so much for clearing it. I'll see you next year as your junior.
We hope that.
We hope that. Consulting firms are done. Since the seats are very limited, okay, this is done. Geography honors, this is done. I think almost catered to all the questions. Good mock series for TISSNET. Is it like ragging? No, there is no ragging in TISS campus. It's a very socially sensitive and inclusive, institute where you have so many courses. They come together and they live in a very, healthy and inclusive environment.
It's a beautiful coexistence. It's a synergy for all of us, and you will love the campus life.
Yes. How many mocks did you solve?
Since I had very, very less time, I solved around 5 or 7, but I analyzed them really well. I knew my strengths, I knew my weaknesses, and I worked on my weaknesses first, so that over the course of time I get better in those, and that is where the marks difference comes in.
Yeah. So in my case, I think I just scored like 3 to 4. Okay, but because one thing, quality mocks were not there. That was my only reason, right? And people are asking, the kind of mocks that we solved. There's no quality mocks, to be really honest. So I solved them just to time myself.
Yes.
Just to understand that, this is a section, because I remember the GK questions were not good, like the kind of question that are asked in TISSNET, right? So I rather focus more on revising my notes. That too, current affairs GK. I revise them extensively.
Please have a notebook, write them down, so that just 2-3 days before your exam, you have it all in one place, and you do not have to search the internet, search your magazines. Do not do that. Have a copy, write it all down, and keep revising.
Sir, are placements good as shown on the placement report? Yes, placements are very, very accurate. Everybody gets placed. Like, for example, our summers, right? Everybody was placed in the summer for the summer internship in one single day, right? So that's not a myth. Every company they've mentioned come here, and plus we have less number of people as compared to other B schools. Okay, so everybody gets a very fair chance, and we have a lot of opportunities. For example, we have summer internships like everybody does, but then we have fieldwork internships as well, where you have some sort of connections and networking with a lot of organizations. We have FPO as well. FPO is basically where you get field work placement offer, right? Where you work in an organization in your field work, and what if they like your work and want to have you in their organization. So basically you will be working in 5 different companies in 2 years.
That's not
that's really amazing. Actually,
the learning that you get in these 2 years is phenomenal, let me tell you that.
Good source for test prep. Sorry, I joined late. If you've answered that question, just let me know. This question has been answered a lot of times. But what you can do is, once the session gets over, you can actually, go through the video. It's going to be there on the page, so you can find that answer there. Are there any reservation? Yes, there are reservation. You can actually go to TISS website and you can see the reservation section. It's a very friendly website. You'll find every detail there. When can we expect the final date? We are trying to reach the administration. So whenever we get some sort of information, or they will update on the website, don't worry about the final date. As I said, prepare as if it's on last week of January, right? What are the course to choose after HRM or DCL as the third choice? That totally depends upon your choice, Avantika. Like I did not have a work ex, so I couldn't go for ODCL any which way, right? But I just filled one particular course, so I did not fill any other course. So it's totally up to you. You can actually talk to committees like ARC in those particular courses, and try to understand that what these courses are about. They'll be better at guiding you.
It should be aligned to your interests as well. It should not be just a random choice. Make sure that you know enough about that course before joining it.
Is there any PSU scope or ministry placements? I'm not sure about the other courses, let's say, but for HRM and LR, if I talk about that, a few PSUs do come, because they have HR heads, right? So they do come to our college, they do recruit from our college. So PSUs, yes, they do come. The third choice is development studies. Good. Again, people have been asking what are the other courses other than HRM? Is development studies good? I think it totally aligns with your interest. And what does good mean to you? Is it that the placements you're looking for, or is it the course that you're driven by? So all these things matter a lot. So you should actually research a bit on these different courses. They'll be better at guiding you. These people from these particular courses, you can reach them on LinkedIn or maybe through social media. Please let us know your social media handle so that we can reach you when we face problem. Second, these are our social media handles. Please follow us on all these channels. We are active on every channel, so whenever you want to ping us, please ping us, and we'll let you know whatever your queries are. Okay, if you have any personal queries related to form filling, or maybe some apprehension or something that you don't want to discuss publicly, you can ping us on the social media handles, and we'll get back to you shortly. Where can I find some good sources to stay updated about HR practices? Okay, for TISSNET, you don't require this as such. Okay, but when it comes to the interview or and extempore sessions, there are beautiful websites like People Matters, SHRM, networks, or that HR section of Economic Times. They're beautiful articles. You can, even if you want to have some sort of motivation towards HRM, you can go through them. They're lovely articles. But for the interview, yes, you can go through these sessions. And also that for the interviews, we'll be extensively again talking about the whole process, and we'll be guiding you further. So do not worry about the interviews as of now. Does TISSNET will be happening this year? No, TISSNET won't happen this year. So next year we can't be sure of. But as of now, TISSNET is not happening this year. GK preparation. I think we have covered GK preparation. We have any other queries if you have with respect to tests, you can write down. Start queue. Yes, was asking for PI only. Thank you. Yeah, for PI we'll have different sessions. Don't worry about that. And you'll get ample amount of time to prepare. Don't worry that much. How much ACADS play a role in getting PI calls in and in final shortlisting? See, for the summers, ACADS, if you're saying
TISSNET, yes.
Okay, TISSNET PI you're saying. Okay, I thought for summers they're asking. Okay, for PI, not really actually, because if you have those marks which are required for your particular category, right? If it's 67 or 61 or 58, whatever your category is, right? So cut off for that particular category, you'll be called for a PI, right? And if they have your, of course, that you'll have submitted your ACADS, right? They might ask you, why the scores are low or high or this and that. You just need to, justify those things.
It's an amalgamation of a lot of inputs also. It's not just the ACADS which will affect, but of course, the cutoff, you have to maintain that.
Okay, can you please brief us a little bit about the DAF process? Again, that whole DAF filling process and the questions and everything, Avantika will be, talking about that in like very detailed manner. Okay, so need not worry about that. What is the minimum package for MHA programs? Sorry, Arjun, we are not, we are not aware of that, and we are not the concerned committee, or so to answer this question. You must, take this question to people from MHA. And then, since general category seats are too low, it's demotivating. It is demotivating to start the preparation. See, again, once you, it's not about seats, like you, at the end of the day, you just need one seat, right?
Exactly.
So you shall not think about these things, to be really honest. And, if you actually want to come to TISS and, this particular course, you should start preparing. Also, a lot of you would not know maybe that, it was my second attempt at TISS. Last year, I reached till PI, I was waitlisted and I could not convert, right? So this year also, again, I gave. So I could understand what my faults were, and I improved on that. So it's all on you, right? You want to join this particular course, then you will, right? So just focus on your strengths and weaknesses and, really, really work on that. Best resources for GK. Again, it's a myth that you will read this particular coaching institute material and you'll get through it. Yes, of course, few material might just help you. They're the government magazines. There is no end to it, right? They're YouTube channels which provide you, those, monthly, capsules of GK, correct? In a very, let's say, in a video manner, let's say, if you're not a very reading kind of a person, you could go through that. It's totally up to you. If you like to read, you go through few magazines, okay, this and that. But then again, you can't totally rely on them. You can't.
Collate your material, whatever you get, wherever you get, note it down so that you have it at your fingertips till the very end.
Any other question? I think we have. I don't have any experience, and similarly, people who are already have perfect experience in my new UPC. So, pick my interview.
Yeah.
The fact that I am sitting here right now, who without a work experience, right, having like gap for like 3 years for UPSC preparation. Trust me, it has not hindered me at all with respect to getting into TISS or after TISS. Let's say, during my summer placements, or let's say in terms of class participation that I have something less to offer. No, actually, you rather bring one kind of diversity, and TISS loves diversity. Okay, so we have people, let's say 5 to 7 people from UPSC aspirants out of the whole batch in a class. Okay, and they bring a very different kind of perspective. Now, what you need to do is that you have to make the panel convinced that why this particular course. They might just ask you, why were you doing UPSC, So you need to be sure about your decisions that you have made and you're going to make in life, right? In future. You want to say something on this?
Just, you add value to the batch. Be confident about that. Diversity, you actually learn more from your classmates. So these different perspectives is what makes this so different, so enriching. Trust me, this is one of the greatest learning points and USPs of TISS as well.
Yeah, because for example, like we have, courses in very first semester where, every expertise that like each expertise that people from different kind of background come from, they have an upper hand on. For example, UPSC people could write FC courses better. Let's say, for example, some social perspective that they bring to the table. But then again, we have courses on quantitative research, where a lot of people who have finance courses, right? Where people who are from the finance background, or let's say somebody from the statistics or mathematical background, who are good at Excel, who have worked in KPMG or Capgemini, or these consulting firms, right? So they have some sort of expertise, right? And what the beautiful part is that we are, this peer-to-peer bonding is such great that you can always learn from them, right? Avantika, how to be motivated and keep going on the rigorous study routines, getting some exam results, which is distracting. I think,
all of us have faced this.
All of us have faced it,
to be very honest.
And not saying that this is not something which you should worry about. Of course, we are human beings and it affects us. But then again, just calm yourself, like don't exhaust yourself. That's what I would do.
Burnout is very real, and it has happened to the best of us. But every day you have to keep your goal in mind, that this is my end goal, and one day at a time, if you go and try to reach that goal, then you will be absolutely fine. There'll be days you'll feel so low, you'll be like, this is not happening, that is not working out, you will feel burned out, you will feel tired, but do not let that bog you down. We've all been there. Stop, think about your goal and take it one day at a time. Do not think about the future that is not even here now. Think about what you can do now to reach there. That is my only piece of advice.
And somebody's also asking that, does TISSNET mark, like let's say borderline mark, affect your conversion rate? It doesn't, to be really honest, like it totally depends upon that how you perform in PI. If your PI is good, if you get like 77, 80 plus marks, which is like brilliant, right?
So I am an example of that. My TISSNET score was just 1 mark above the cutoff. And you really have to do very, very well in your PI. Be sure about yourself, what you want, and convey it effectively in your PI panel so that ultimately your chances of conversion are skyrocketing.
Somebody's asking your marks in GK.
I think mine was 22 or 24, something like that.
Okay, mine was 32. Again, maybe UPSC preparation. But then again, my maths was not that good, right? Again, see, this is an example, right? Like how, like she might have scored a little more in the quant section, and I might have scored a little more in, GK section. So it totally depends, right? Where can we get previous year papers? As I said, you can YouTube them, you can Google them, and on Telegram channels, you can easily, Telegram, just search, TISSNET exam preparation. There are various groups. You could go to their file section and you can get them. Even if you don't get it, ping us on our social media handles, specifically Facebook. There we'll provide you with the link of that particular, let's say, source where you can get these papers, right? Then motivation is done. Any other questions? Are we almost done? Yeah. I think we are pretty much done with the kind of questions that you guys have asked us. Is 75 a score or a safe score? It totally depends upon or the level of difficulty. So Mayur Raj is asking that is 75 a safe score for TISSNET only? See, 75 is a very good score if you say last year's paper, right? But 75 may not be a very good score compared to 2017-18 question papers, right? So it's very relative. So you can't say that. But then again, don't get bogged down by this, that this particular number that I need to know or this or that. It totally depends upon the level of difficulty in that particular year. Because if it's difficult, it is going to be difficult for everybody. Can you tell us about your day? Which day is she asking about? The exam day?
Or probably life at TISS.
Oh, life at TISS? Okay. You want to go ahead?
So our classes usually start about at 9:30 in the morning. And some days it goes up till 1:30 in the afternoon. Some days it's is like 6:30 in the evening. So our days vary a lot. There are classes and we have our committee work. We have time to socialize, talk. Of course, the very famous amphitheater, which many of you shall see next year or this year rather. So, of course, that is, but it's usually not just studies. You will get a lot of opportunities to explore, to talk to people from different courses, and make friends. It's an offline batch. We are back at the campus after 2 years, and it's a great feeling. So that's what. How's life for you, Paritosh?
See, at times it's very chill, you're in Mumbai, right? You're in the midst of the city, right? And you can go to a lot of places, but then there are days when you have a lot of assignments and, you're all bogged up and this and that. So it varies, as Darshana mentioned, right? But somehow we all manage, we all save through, right? But the good part is that faculty here is very understanding.
Yes.
They understand, they always ask us, they tell us about the problems that you guys are facing, can we help in some way or the other? So that is very beautiful about this particular place. Any sectional cutoff or sectional time? No, there is no sectional time during TISSNET exam. Sectional cutoff for general category, specifically for general awareness, right? GK section. It's 14 marks. And for OBC, it's 12. And for other categories, there is no cutoff as such. Other than that, there is no sectional cutoff or sectional time. It's not there. Having no experience in business or management, how should I know things about HR in PI? Okay.
Just read about it. None of us come from such business intensive backgrounds.
Yeah.
And the only thing that we did was read about it. Just Google whatever you can, soak up all the articles, and mostly understand what it's talking about. Nobody in PI is looking for jargons and heavy terms and all of that. It's a very basic understanding. Know yourself well and know what you are after. So that's.
Yeah. And also, you need not to master of it already. Of course, you're going to come here and study all of these things, But why HR? At least you should know what are the basic functions of an HR. What are the various domains of an HR, right? So you need to know all those basic things at least. And, if you tell the panel that, this much I've read and this much I know, they won't say that, oh, you should have read more or something like that. No, a lot of times they ask you that, what did you prepare? How did you prepare for this interview? So you have the opportunity to guide your own interview, like whatever direction you want to take it. Is TISSNET exam happening? No, it's not happening this year. Rajal, can you give me some better mock site? Again, there is no better mock site. You can choose like 3 and have one from each, right? Any 3. There are few. I don't think so. There is any particular coaching institute which specifically dedicates itself to TISSNET preparation, because it's a very. So TISSNET that's one particular exam which is not a management kind of an exam altogether, right? Because a lot of courses also apply for this particular course. So specifically looking after MBA kind of coaching for TISSNET is little difficult. Will there be a slowdown for placements of HR next year? Nobody can actually predict that, and how does that hamper our motivation towards an HR? If the industry is going to slow down, it's going to slow down for every corporate domain, right? It's just not HR. Yeah. But then again, after COVID, as you would know, that the demand for HR and mental health management and the whole attrition thing that is going on in the industry.
Change management.
Yeah. So HR functions have actually expanded. Then now people have mental health management officers in their companies.
Well-being is very important.
Well-being is very, very important now. So HR plays a very huge role there. How many institute level seats for admission without TISSNET? I didn't get this question.
I haven't.
What did you guys tell the reason for opting HR? I have because I couldn't make to my desired college, so going with it.
It has to be a very personal reason that you give.
Yeah.
If you give something that's very generic, then it's not tailored for you, right? You should have your own motive as to why you are going to opt for HR. Of course, you're going to cover all of these interview things and questions in a session afterwards. Right now, just focus on your TISSNET and just give it your very, very best.
Yeah, I think again, it totally depends upon your particular journey, right? If you're going to say that the same answer that 100 more people have Googled, it's not going to make any difference, So find your answer, that is going to drive your interview. Because if there is some sort of genuineness in your answer, some sort of, then of course it's going to be in your benefit. Is TISSNET difficulty same as MBA, CET, or a bit more harder? You can't actually compare TISSNET's like level of difficulty, because some questions, if you look in TISSNET, are very conceptual based at times. For example, if you see there are questions on mean, median, mode, statistics. So they're also asking you the relationship between them, right? How mean, mode, and median are connected to each other, and there some different kind of questions. So these kind of questions are not usually asked in a lot of conventional B school entrance exams, right? So level won't be too hard, but then again, you just try to understand looking at previous year question papers, right? And you'll understand that, oh, there are one or two questions from log. Okay, so I might brush up my log skills first, and those formulas and relations need to be brushed up during the very end, because you tend to forget them, right? So you need to understand and cater, like design your own preparation strategy, I would say.
Know your basics very well. I don't think we have grounds to compare all these exams, but just be good with your basics.
If is it possible to crack if I start today? There are people just start, yes. Like just don't think, even if you're going to give the next year's exam, how does it matter? If you're eligible, just appear, right? It's going to give you some sort of experience, and that kind of experience is going to be like really, really great if you reappear next year. How can we justify a drop year? Whatever, just be honest about it. Like if they ask you that why drop year, then tell them that what were you doing in that particular drop year. What I can really, really help you with is that you find whatever you were doing, try to jot down the learnings that you had from that. Even if you were doing nothing, for example, let's say you were taking time for yourself to figure out what you want to do in your life. Justify that answer.
Be honest about it. That is what they want. They do not want you to come up with some really flowery answer of, I was doing this. I just be honest and tell them the truth. That is all that they're looking for.
But have self-reflection that in that 1 year, that what all the things that you learned, maybe let's say not some skills, I'm not asking about you learned some Excel course or this or that, not at all. Just life learnings also you can talk about, because HRM, the self-reflection part is so high. In every course of ours, there is this one
journaling even.
Journaling even
is you learn every day.
Even our fieldwork internships that we have to journal it, right? So what are we learning each and every day and every week per se? So that reflection is very, very needed. So if you can actually reflect back on that, that those drop years, 1 or 2 or whatever you have, you guys prepared for GDPI? No, I mean, for GDPI, I think we'll take like further sessions, right? But then again, that totally depends upon if you feel like going for a GDPI mock, you can, go for 1 or 2 any coaching institute that you like, see their mock GDs, or there is no GD, by the way, right? So see their mock PIs on YouTube, right? And you can figure out that whatever you like. But I personally did not go for anyone. I did not feel the need. But then again, if you want to have that kind of, exposure maybe, then you can always have that. Hello, can you please answer the right TISSNET if grad percentage is less than 50, because on the website is not mentioned. I don't know your name, SFA. Can you please, remind this particular query to me on Facebook or Instagram? I'll get back to you with respect to this particular doubt, because a lot of people have the similar kind of doubt. We'll talk to the administration and make sure that, we get back to you, or maybe we'll provide you with the official email ID and the phone number that is there, and you can directly call them up. So for that, you have to ping on our social media. I'll for sure, we'll try to respond there. I can't crack this year's TISSNET, it will start today. Don't have those biases, Sadhna. It will give you an experience, okay? Like you'll understand that what all the things that you actually require.
Nobody's saying no, you might as well. So just start. That is the entire thing. Like I said, I started very late in December. So don't fall for that negativity. Give it your best.
Yeah, call for PI, come at what marks? That again, like TISSNET cutoff,
yes.
It depends upon the level of question paper.
Correct.
Last year it was 67 for the general category, as we mentioned. Again, telling them that the gap year was preparing for exam, does it seem to be a bit vague, but how do you tackle it if you had gap years in India? Okay, so see, a lot of people are there, who have gap years, right? So they might ask you that, what were you doing, right? So if you say that you were preparing for this or that competitive exam, they might ask you about, for example, if you are from UPSC background, if my option was sociology, so they ask me questions on sociology, right? Now, sociology has a lot of linking in HR theories and organization behavior, So the panel that I had, they asked me a lot of questions from that particular subject or the things that I was learning. And also the behavioral aspect of it, that what did you learn as a human being from that journey of, like, let's say 2 years, So those kind of questions they can ask you. My quant is weak. Please tell me how to improve this. Practice a lot. Yeah. I think we are done. The questions are being repeated again. So all the very best to each one of you.
All the best, people. Just be very calm, very cool, and just give it your all. That's all you can do.
Even if you don't crack it this year, maybe try next year. It's perfectly fine. Just have a very free and free mind. Don't, as she mentioned it, do not get burnt out. Okay, just have a very calm mind and go there with full energy. And have good food. That's very important because you have to feel good, right? You have to have a fresh mind. So all the very best. And in case any other queries, please do reach out to us on our social media handles, right? So we'll get back to you there. All right. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.